What's going on, guys? My name is Alan and welcome to a PC case unboxing. Now, I've been waiting for this PC case for a long time, and this case is the Thermaltake The Tower 900 Snow Edition. Now, this originally was supposed to be a display case, but they created a consumer case to show off basically custom water cooling solutions, which you can see from the picture itself. So I'm going to start by looking around the box, and then I'm going to get into the PC case itself. Now, the first thing you will see is the massive picture of the product itself with all of its water cooling here. Now, this is a special case for water cooling itself, and it is pretty damn big. So as you can see, it says that there's 3 tempered glass sides. So there's one on the left side, one in the middle, and one in the right. And they are 5mm thick each. So we're going to swivel the box around and have a look to see what's actually on the box. Don't worry, I have taken my address off. So we get another look at the product itself, kind of like a diagonal side view, and it gets some information here. So the top front I/O ports, which is right here, there are 4 USB 3.0 ports, and it also has 2 pre-installed 140mm fans. I will get to that when I show you the case. Swiveling it round to the back, this is kind of an awesome shot here. We see the PC case in its modular design format, which basically means you can take every single thing off the case and you're just left with the chassis. That means you can either start from basically that, or you can take anything off and clean it and stuff like that. So that's a pretty good feature from Thermaltake. There's a thumbs up there. Moving on to the left side, we have the final look at the product. That's kind of another diagonal look on. And we get some more information. I'm just going to pan down to show you what information we have. But when I pan up, I'm going to tell you about something. And the something is that it's a super tower, which means this case is bigger than a full tower case. And full tower cases are big in general. We're talking about the Corsair 900D size. And Thermaltake are kind of known for making huge cases, and that's what they're known for. And recently they're most known for this display case, which will also be at CES 2017 on the 5th of January, which is only a few days from now. So be on the lookout for this one. This is the actual PC that will be there, and there will also hopefully be a black and green edition, which looks pretty awesome. So right now I'm actually going to show you the PC case itself. So before I actually show you everything about the case, I'm going to just show you like the outside of the case itself. So you get a nice little view of what the case looks like. So we see here that the case is pretty big. The case itself is actually 25 kilograms without anything in it. Now I'm going to show you the front I/O first, and here it is. So we have a reset switch here. We have 2 USB 3.0 ports, a headphone and microphone jack. We also have another 2 USB 3.0 ports. We have a power button, which is really nice and tactile. We also have a hard drive indicator button. We also have a little light indicator button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the glass panels off, which can be taken off using these thumb screws, which are really sturdy, and they have rubber grommets underneath it so you won't actually scratch the glass. I'm going to take all the glass panels off, and then I'm going to show you each side of the case and what the case supports. Before I show you the case in all of its glory, I would like to show you these thumb screws. Now these are the thumb screws that screw into each panel. Now these are the glass panels here, and as you can see there are rubber grommet holes which these fit into. Now these tightly fit into it and will not scratch the glass at all, but will hold them very securely. Now back to the case itself. Now this case is very tall indeed. It is 30 inches high, and I've decided to put it on this wheelie trolley for the simple reason is that since it's also going to be custom water cooled, and since it's got glass panels and it's 25 kilos without anything actually inside it, I thought the best action was to wheel it around, since I don't really want to be carrying something like this, and the PC components themselves are very expensive as well, so I really don't want to drop it. So the PC case, the left side and the right side are basically exactly the same. You have an SSD mount here, and you also have an SSD mount on the back, which means you can actually put this SSD mount here, which means that basically you can show off your SSDs. And since this is a custom water loop case, you have special areas for the pump and reservoir to sit. Now, depending on what custom water loop you go, you can actually put your pump right here, or you can put your pump and reservoir combo here, like they have done right there. Now, since there's two areas, this means that you can either have a pump here and a reservoir here, a pump here and a reservoir here. Each side doesn't really matter. I'd really suggest putting this side for your GPU loop and this side for your CPU loop. It's never a good idea really putting them all on one same loop, because if you really want to change one GPU or you want to change your CPU out, you're really going to have to take everything off and everything apart and drain it all, which is really just a hassle. So the simple is that's why there is two loops here. The pink one goes to the GPU loop and the blue one goes to the CPU loop. Now you can change the coolants, of course. So back to the case. So as I said, the left side and the right side are exactly the same, and they're very well built, and they have really been measured so that you can fit literally any type of pump and reservoir combo available. So right here we have the Thermaltake logo. We also have two 3.5-inch drive bays with SSD mounts here. Now there is a 140mm fan mount, as you can see here. Now there isn't one pre-installed. There is one pre-installed at the top, and there's one pre-installed at the top at the back, which I will show you in a moment. Now down here, which is very inconspicuous, you actually see a 5.25-inch drive bay, which at this moment is used for fan operation right here. Now you can have it as an SD card reader, or I'm actually just going to completely have it like this because I don't actually need anything there really. So as we move up the case, we see lovely rubber grommet holes. Now these are very soft, so they're very good for basically hardline tubing or flexi tubing, because that's really what you're going to be putting in this case. Now I did say this case is modular, as you saw before on the box itself, so everything can be taken apart. So moving up the case, we see all the motherboard slots and all of the slots itself for expansion cards. You have 8 slots in general, which means you can actually fit an EATX motherboard on here, which is really, really good. Especially if you are running a quad SLI, which actually nowadays you really don't need, since NVIDIA doesn't actually officially support it anymore. Go look that up. So here we have fans, and these are actually braided cables, which are really nice to have. So I'm actually going to be showing you the back of the case in a moment, but I will actually show you the sides first. The sides and the back are kind of looped in together, so I'll be back in a moment. So here is the view of the back of the case. Now I will show you the side of the case and the top of the case in a moment, because they're all linked together basically. But straight away we see here it is a magnetic dust filler, which is really lovely to have, since basically you can take it off and quickly dust it. Now the back of the case does support 120 or 140mm fans, which is really nice. There's a power supply cutout, and inside here there are cable ties, a motherboard buzzer, motherboard standoffs, and also fan screws, which is really handy to have. Now to take the back panel off, all you have to do is unscrew all of these thumb screws, which is really cool. Now the top of the case, this is basically where your whole I/O is. Now this is already being cable routed, which is really nice. It's also being tied up, so you don't really have to mess with this. So here are all of the 8 slots, and the best things about the slots is they are actually replaceable. You can just put them back. Unlike some cases that are slightly cheaper than this, basically that they just snap off and you can't put them back. So this is where the motherboard I/O would be. Now here is the front 140mm fan, which I showed you before. Now the other 140mm fan is in the back, because it is a dual chamber system, so everything like cables, power supplies in the back, and radiators are in the back, and in the front is all the goodies. So as I wanted to show you, here is something really cool. So basically you press this button here, which pushes a spring, which actually, if I press it hard enough, it will take the side panel off, which is really cool. So I want to show you the side panels. Now the side panels have magnetic dust filters as well, which is really awesome to have. So if we look at the side panel itself, we see that altogether the side can actually fit a 560mm radiator, which is pretty awesome indeed. I will show you that when I take the back of the case off itself. But altogether, so far, this case is very nice. What I forgot to show you before is the top of the case itself. So this is the top of the case. It doesn't have magnetic dust filters, but it does have this nice mesh that you can literally just take out. But this is the top of the case itself. You actually have to take all 3 of the glass panels off first before actually taking the lid off itself. So here is a view of the panel actually off. So you can actually see the inside of the dual chamber system. So I'm going to start right at the top. So basically we see a 140mm fan there. So we're going to start on the left side and go to the right side, because the right and left are slightly different, unlike the front of the case. So the left side has hard drive cages. It has 2 hard drive cages which fit 2 hard drives each. This is a modular system, so you can actually put this on the right side if you really wanted to, and there's reasons for that. The left side only supports a 460mm radiator, while the right side supports a 560mm radiator. Now, either side can fit fans if you really wanted to, so if you have a radiator there with fans, you can also put fans on here just to keep the area cool. Now, on the right side, obviously, we also have some motherboard cables here. These are the USB 3.0 cables with the audio interface cables, which literally all plug into your motherboard. So that's very standard for every single case nowadays. There's another area obviously here that shows you that the hard drive cages can be mounted right here. So as we go back down, here are the rubber grommets again. And if we actually just go all the way down here, this is where the power supply fits. Now you can fit a 220mm power supply, which means you can have a 1200 or 1500 watt power supply. Now most systems don't actually have that wattage anymore, since all of the wattages for the new cards have come way down from what they were. But it's nice to have that space to actually upgrade. Now this is where all the cables from the pump and reservoir comes out. So it's a very nice dual chamber system, especially since you get so much space. There is over a handspan's width of space in here. So you can fit all your cables in here, or if you really want to get all the flexi tubing, all the hardline tubing, as since this really is a custom water loop system. So that's really been me unboxing the case itself. I'm actually very happy with this case. I will actually have a build log of me building the case, the PC inside the case itself. And then I'm going to do a review of the case to see in a few months what I think of the case and how I actually feel. Do I really want to upgrade or not? Because this case really has every single thing and every single feature I really want in a case. So my name has been Alan. I have been unboxing the Thermaltake of the Tower 900. Please give this a like, because I really would like the feedback on this case. Now this is my second review I've only done, so I'm quite new to this reviewing malarkey, but I'm Alan. Peace.